When the wise go silent, the hidden crisis of our civilization.
Let's talk about something a little unsettling. It's this quiet trend that's been happening, where it feels like our most thoughtful minds are just disappearing from public life. So, in this explainer, we're going to dig into why.
I mean, have you felt this yourself? You think about that one brilliant friend who just went totally quiet on social media, or that super insightful colleague who suddenly avoids any kind of debate. Maybe you've even felt that pull to just step back, to find some quiet in a world that just feels overwhelmingly loud.
Well, if you've sensed this, I'm here to tell you, you are not imagining it. Something really fundamental is shifting. It's pushing our sharpest thinkers to seek out solitude. And look, this isn't just about being an introvert. No, this is a deep, profound response to the noisy world that we've all had a hand in building.
So, to really get a grip on what's happening right now, we actually need to look back in time. Because, believe it or not, this isn't the first time the wisest among us have decided to check out from a world in total turmoil.
Think about it. During the fall of the Roman Empire, right, as society was literally crumbling, you had thinkers like Seneca and Augustine who retreated from all that political chaos. But they weren't just running away, not at all. They were on a mission, trying to preserve what they called the flame of knowledge in a world that was getting darker by the day. They were basically the caretakers of wisdom for society.
Okay, but, and this is a really big but, here's the crucial difference between then and now. Back in the Roman era, these thinkers pulled back to actual physical places, like monasteries, to save physical books and texts. It was seen as a temporary, necessary pause. Today, the retreat is from the digital circus, and it's all about preserving one's own sanity and mental clarity. And the really worrying part is that this time, it feels less like a strategic timeout and more like a permanent, almost hostile separation.
So what's the driving force behind this modern-day retreat? Well, the main culprit, if you want to call it that, is technology. More specifically, it's the algorithms that have completely changed the game. They've turned our information streams into this relentless wall of noise, and they're built to prioritize instant gut reactions over any kind of deep, careful reflection.
You see, these incredibly complex systems, the ones that decide every single thing you see online, they're not designed to make you smarter. They're not designed to make you better informed. Nope, they have one and only one primary goal.
And that goal is one simple word: engagement. The longer you stay on the platform, the longer you scroll, the more they win. Every single click, every angry comment, every single share, it all just feeds the machine. We're living in an economy built entirely on capturing and holding on to our attention for dear life.
And you know what the algorithms have figured out about us humans? They've learned that emotional reactions, especially anger and outrage, are by far the most effective way to keep us hooked. It's like digital catnip. And because of that, thoughtful, nuanced, complex content, well, it just doesn't stand a chance. It simply can't compete for our attention.
So what's the result of all this? Well, you get a digital public square, where a short, inflammatory 16-word tweet can get way more traction than years and years of careful, methodical research. It creates an environment where complex ideas are either totally ignored or, worse, viciously attacked. Our whole society is becoming hostile to the very idea of deep thinking.
Okay, so what actually happens when these thoughtful minds just leave the conversation? What's the real price that all of us pay for their silence?
Well, what happens is we get trapped in this really nasty, vicious cycle. Here's how it works. First, the thoughtful, reflective minds withdraw from all the noise. That creates a vacuum, right? And that empty space gets filled and filled fast by less qualified but much, much louder voices. This, of course, degrades the quality of public conversation even more, which just pushes more wise people away, and the cycle just keeps going and going and going.
And the cost? The cost to society it's massive. We're losing the very minds we desperately need to solve huge, complex challenges, things like climate change and AI. Public debate gets handed over to charlatans and influencers. Our universities, once centers of inquiry, are at risk of becoming just factories of conformity. And maybe most crucially, we lose that mentorship, that passing of the torch that's needed to cultivate the next generation of thinkers.
Which, leads us to a much darker question. Is all of this just an accident? An unfortunate side effect of new technology? Or is it a feature of a system that actually benefits from keeping us distracted and emotional? Because let's be honest, an informed, reflective population is a whole lot harder to control and manipulate.
So here we are. We're at a critical crossroads. Faced with this intellectual exodus,
what can we actually do about it? As it turns out, there seem to be three main paths we can take.
Okay, so the three paths. Path 1 is to resist, to stay in the fight and push for better public conversation. Path 2 is to adapt, use the new tools to share complex ideas in new ways. And the third path is to preserve, to protect that flame of knowledge for a future generation. Let's break down the risks of each one.
All right, let's evaluate. If we choose to resist, we're trying to elevate the whole conversation, but the risk is total burnout. We're fighting a system literally designed to wear us down. If we adapt, we try to use new media to spread wisdom, but we risk, corrupting the message, watering it down until it's meaningless. And if we preserve, we withdraw to protect knowledge, but that means we leave a vacuum, which could actually accelerate society's decline. So yeah, as you can see, none of these are easy choices.
But it's not all doom and gloom. There is a glimmer of hope here. What if the same technology that got us into this mess could also get us out? I mean, just imagine decentralized platforms that are totally free from those engagement-hungry algorithms, AI that could act as a filter, cutting through the noise for us, or even brand new ways to financially support independent thinkers so they don't have to play the game inside this broken system.
And maybe this is the most important takeaway of all. Maybe we've been asking the wrong question the entire time. Instead of asking, how do we get wise people to come back to this toxic public square, maybe the real question is, how do the rest of us build a culture that actually values wisdom and deep thinking again? The focus shifts from them to us.
Because make no mistake, the stakes could not be any higher. This isn't just some interesting thought experiment or a nerdy academic debate. Our very ability to solve the immense challenges facing us, it may literally depend on whether or not we can make space for wisdom again in our world.
Look, the wise aren't withdrawing because they've given up on humanity. Not at all. They are preserving something precious. They're waiting. They're waiting for the rest of us to realize what we've lost and to start searching for something better. So the final question is a simple one, really. It's for all of us. Will we answer that call?